Yep. Alright. This is part 2 of exposing the method, right? And with that, we're going to talk about repetition, synchronicities, patterns, and how they use numbers, numerology, gematria, things like this to again play in your face. So, pay attention.
Kamala Harris, the Southeast Indian
Now, remember the
Asian.
last video I spoke about John Stossel telling us about the Southern Poverty Law Center. And when was that?
Here's mission. Well-meaning people still do.
2018.
Apple just gave them $1 million.
Right? 2018. It hit the collective consciousness again when? 2026. Okay. Then we went here.
Had a harem of females. He had 12 females, and that's how his lifestyle was.
Minnesota,
That's how he
Somalian fraud.
2018. Not all of it, but a good substantial part of it.
First time it hit the collective consciousness.
The internal controls.
When did it hit the collective consciousness again? 2026. Okay. Just walk with me. I'm almost there, because you know what they say. Everything comes and goes in threes.
Of confrontations with customers has been charged with murder. CBS's Nicole Sganga reports the community is fed up with yet another senseless loss of life.
Mourners protested outside this convenience store in Columbia, South Carolina, to remember 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton, who was shot and killed the night before by the store owner. Hours later, rioters broke in, smashing merchandise and toppling shelves, angry over the loss of another young black life.
It was nothing but looting, just plain, pure looting. And what does that got to do with that 14-year-old?
According to the sheriff, on Sunday night, Belton took water bottles from a cooler before putting them back. The store's owner, 58-year-old Rick
Even
Chow,
though these Asian
thought he
women
was
get on and be like, you motherfuckers need to raise your kids because that little piece of shit was stealing.
By Chow and his son.
But
Then
nothing
Chow
was
observed
stolen.
what
They don't want
looked
to
be a
address that. They want to make
firearm, pulled out
excuses
his
for why we're
Glock and
boycotting.
fired one shot, hitting
Because
the
of
14-year-old
historic
in his back, piercing his heart.
instances of shit
The
just
boy's
like
gun
this.
was found at the scene.
We believe he had a gun, but we don't believe he pointed at him, and that's the key to it.
Key.
Chow is now being
Pay
held on
attention.
one charge of murder. The sheriff says the store owner has a history of incidents involving customers, including a shooting in 2018, which was deemed self-defense and for which Chow was not charged.
The verdict came back. He was
2018, huh? Not charged. So he first hit the collective consciousness in 2018. Same thing. And then spun the block in what? 2026. Are you seeing the pattern? Are you seeing the exposing of the method, getting you to acquiesce of your own free will? And all this is being done because of who and what we are. There's an agenda being done because they're trying to fulfill certain prophecies, and they have to get a certain group of their own free will to acquiesce and go outside and take to the streets. Because once a certain specific group of people go outside and join all the bullshit that's going on, saving the illegal aliens, doing all that, because we know what they've already been doing, the boomers and their grandkids and all the naturalized citizens who are related to the illegals. We see how much shit they've been tearing up. And still yet, nothing's happened. Why? Because a specific group is not outside yet. Pay attention to the PSYOP. And don't listen to groups like the NAACP who were telling you and your children not to accept scholarships or go to certain state schools because of what they're doing to their POC coalition. Because they're exposing the method. They need your energy and your free will to manipulate your sovereignty, because you are a divine sovereign being. And they can only use you if you allow them and acquiesce of your free will. That's how they clean the karmic retribution cycle. But hey, I be tweaking. Y'all remember this, right? Remember this? The train derailment? Where was it at? East Palestine, Ohio. Yeah, pay attention. Look. Wow, look. Do you see the little face pop up in the smoke? You see that? You see that? Right there. Demons exposing themselves. What do they call that? When you see something like you see shit in the clouds, I can't even think of the word right now. But there's a term for it. Anyways. Yeah, but just remember that, right? Alright. Cool. Alright, nah. Pay attention.
I ask you about this movie. You were an extra in a movie called White Noise.
White Noise.
Let's watch a clip of it.
Where they at? Palestine, Ohio.
They're calling it the airborne toxic event.
The plot
They're calling
is,
it the airborne
there
toxic
is a train
event.
crash in
But
Ohio.
here's the hook. What do you think came out first? The movie about a train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio with dangerous chemicals on it? Or the actual world event? Ding, 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 ding. You see, it's called exposing the method. And in order for them to push their agenda and get done what they have to get done, they need your compliance and your free will, because it absolves them of karmic retribution. So if you don't use discernment and protect your divine sovereignty by not acquiescing to these things and giving them your energy and allowing them, consenting to them of your own free will, they wouldn't be allowed to happen. And see, I was just told to tell everybody, like, yo, you've wasted all your time doing all this. Now it's your time to go to work. But everybody thinks I'm tweaking. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, and I understand. You ain't got to listen to me. It might cross the bear. I'm just doing what I was told to do. I told everybody about that experience I had, and hey, I understand if nobody believes it, because I wouldn't either. If somebody said it to me, I would have thought they were crazy from my old worldview and perspective. But all of this just happens to be a string of unexplainable random coincidences. And I can do this all day with everything from anywhere that you can think of. I can show you where they exposed the method in television, movies. You know what? Before I go, remember the old slave song, Swing Low, Swing High, Sweet Chariot, coming forth to carry me home? Well, again, exposing the method. Let's talk about it.
Check it.
Y'all remember this movie, Space Traders?
Some of
You
these
should
people
watch
have been
it.
out here since 2 o'clock this morning, though the aliens aren't scheduled to arrive before
The
noon.
what?
But as you can see, the crowd is getting pretty excited as America prepares for its first encounter with space since NASA went bankrupt back in 1998. It's quite a circus.
Thank you, Stryker. Of course, we will go back to Plymouth Rock the moment the aliens are sighted.
Plymouth Rock. We didn't land on it. It landed on us.
The Environmental Protection Agency has added Hartford, Connecticut to its
Exposing
list
the
of cities
method.
to be evacuated by year's end. Carcinogen levels there have topped those found in Baltimore last year.
Sound familiar?
The gap between black salaries and white widened. Wait, something's now happening at Plymouth
Sound
Rock.
familiar?
Stryker.
Scripted.
Well, as you can hear, Bernie, there's definitely something going on now. We can't see anything yet, but this humming is definitely growing louder. You know, ever since the alien signal was first received some 3 months ago, speculation has run rampant as to their appearance, the size and shape of their craft. Oh my God! Literally, a spacecraft have just materialized from nowhere right over our heads. This is absolutely amazing. This is literally an unbelievable sight. As I look to my left, I see Vice President D'Amato and Secretary of State Buchanan approaching the microphone. For those of you who are concerned, President Taylor, of course, is safe and secure in an undisclosed bunker until it's determined whether or not these aliens pose any threat.
Can you understand me? I'm the Vice President.
We are space
gifts that will restore
Is
your
that the reptilian?
to its former glory. Nearly limitless quantities of gold and precious metals that will instantly erase your deficit. Machines that will renew your rivers and your air. Cold fusion technology.
Anunnaki!
An inexhaustible source of energy.
Yeah. Didn't they spend since what 1947 telling us that none of this exists, but they've been exposing the method to you ever since, and now they're releasing UAP files. But I be tweaking, exposing the method.